Okay, it's 7:40. We are through security in the rain, and we're going to Disneyland. We're gonna rope drop Rise of the Resistance. Don't tell anybody. Let's go. So even though it was a rainy Wednesday morning, there was still a bunch of people there, and it was a bit chaotic. Like, it was hard to tell where you were supposed to get in line for whatever area you were going to go to. And the rule is that once the rope drops, which I believe happens at 8 a.m., you are supposed to walk over to the ride you want to go to. I don't think I already said that this was our first time rope dropping, but we did make it onto the ride by 8:40, which included the walking over there. And I'm going to leave in some excerpts from the ride for you to enjoy if you want to. If not, skip ahead a couple minutes. After the ride, we went and got breakfast. We did the breakfast Ronto wraps, which I had heard good things about. They also have vegetarian versions of this, I believe, or maybe that's only for lunch. And then we headed over to Smuggler's Run. This day in the park, all three of us had the Fast Pass, so I went on a fair amount of the rides with my family. Spent a lot of time in Galaxy's Edge this morning because my husband loves Star Wars and he had never been here before this trip, so we soaked it all in. He also did the lightsaber experience, which I'm going to leave here. If you don't want to see it, skip ahead about 4 minutes.
A lot of these pieces do come from the planet of Kashyyyk. Alright, second, Peace and Justice, which is our Jedi style. Third one is Protection and Defense, which is our Jedi Temple Guard, High Republic. And last but not least, Power and Control, which is our Sith.
Alright, I think I'll go with the second option, Jedi style.
The Jedi? Yep. So Peace and Justice? Alright, I'm going to have you walk.
704, cash your card. Card. And that machine.
Probably.
It was once used by our greatest of heroes and our darkest of enemies. To build the lightsabers like art, it reflects the builder and it bonds the builder and the Force together. It is a very powerful tool in the Force. The crystals are not yet stable. Very nice. Like the silver tone. Great. The gathers and I are very happy that we found these pieces. Like I mentioned, they're very, very extremely hard. First, you have your chastity. Sections 1 and 2 are going to be your sleeves. Section 3, your emitters. Section 4, your end caps. And Section 5, your activation plates, which will power up your lightsabers. Alright, builders, now that we know our pieces and just have one extremely very important change of pushing up, using that spring plate as a guide into a standing up position. Now plug correctly, you want to hear a chime and events flashing the color of the crystal that you've chosen. It's probably the most difficult part. Inside, you notice a blue rectangle and a red square. You'll also find that on the chassis next to the crystal chamber, a blue rectangle and a red square. And these are a matching game. So blue to blue rectangle, and red to red square, they should snap in with one another just like a puzzle. Large and thicker band, the large band might be copper, it might be silver. When that band goes towards the middle, towards the activation plate, push and twist until it is secured. Again, large and thicker band, it might be copper, it might be silver, but that band goes towards the middle, towards the activation plate, push and twist.
Towards the center, so you gotta
If you're
flip that
coming
around.
from the top, twist to your left. If you're coming from the bottom, twist to your right. Definitely don't want to go into battle with your sticks coming off, that'd be very bad.
Oh, you want me?
When you hear Jeff say activate, okay? I'm gonna set that down right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take these, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Went well, nothing like last week, right?
Definitely better than last week.
Good. You don't need any more holes in the ceiling.
With many parts you began. With the heart of the slaver they are joined, much more they will become. It's time.
Good. Builders, the force must be strong in here to summon a Jedi Master into our presence. And yes, he's correct. It is almost time to forge that bond. In a moment, I'm going to ask you all to return. Place your hand on your hilts, and we'll activate together as one. Now, builders, are you ready?
Ready.
Please return. Place your hand on your hilts. Feel the energy of the Force. Now, focus. Take a deep breath. And activate. Raise your lightsabers. Do just as the lightsaber like the Jedi and Sith that came before you. And like them, you too can change the galaxy. And remember, all it takes is a spark. Now raise your sabers high. And raise them proud. You did it. Woo! That bond is now complete. Please go ahead and deactivate your lightsabers. Well done, builders.
After the lightsaber experience, we headed into a store right by it, and my husband did get another crystal so he could change out the crystal on his lightsaber. And then we headed over to docking bay 7 because I had not had coffee yet at this point, so I got this cold brew black calf, which a lot of people talk about. Let me tell you, though it might sound weird, the cocoa cereal, the Cocoa Puffs on top of this drink really make it that was delicious. And then we went over to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is such a cute ride. I think that maybe if you were thinking that you're just there with adults or you're there with older children and you might not like this ride, I would suggest you give it a try because it was super cute. Again, we had the fast pass for this, so that was great. I hear that if you don't have the fast pass, the line is very, very cute. So if there is a short line for this, people would recommend that you go through the actual line and see all the Mickey and Minnie paraphernalia. And this is over in Toontown. We were able to snag a reservation at Oga's Cantina back in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for lunch, and this was really cute. The only thing I wasn't expecting was they had booths, and even though we had a reservation, we had to share our booth with 2 other parties that came slightly after us. This bar, cantina, restaurant is really cool, but it is kind of intense. You have a time limit of how much you can stay there, like 45 minutes to an hour maybe, and then you can only order twice. So be sure you know what you want because you can only order 2 times. That includes food and drinks, I believe. But we tried, I I got a mocktail, and obviously so did my daughter, or like a soft drink, whatever you want to call it. And my husband got a cocktail here. All of the drinks are super fun, and we ordered a variety of food. It's mostly like appetizers as opposed to like an entree. So we got like these, I think, pretzels that you dip in cheese, and then there was a spread that you put on bread, and then we got edamame and cucumbers that came with a dip. The food was actually very good. I was quite impressed with it. My drink was okay. Like I had gotten a drink that had a tea, like iced tea as the base, and it was all right. But my daughter really liked her drink, and it was very cool to look at. And my husband liked his cocktail. I will say it was awkward to sit at a table with a bunch of strangers. The people across from us were talking to the 3 other folks there, who were there from out of town, and we were just kind of sitting there in our own world, probably because we arrived first, so they didn't really have conversations with us, and we were there with our daughter, and they were all adults, so that was a little bit interesting. But overall, the atmosphere here is really cool, and the food was really good. And the drinks were really fun. So I would recommend going if you have the chance. After lunch, we did make our way out of the park. We actually finished well within the time period that they allotted for us. So we walked back out, obviously, through the Galaxy's Edge, and then we headed back into the rest of the park. And as you can tell at this point, it is still raining. We actually went through the castle for the first time in this trip because we had been going around to different lands. So that's obviously a super special. Definitely can't miss going through the castle at least once on a Disney trip, right? And then on our way out onto Main Street, we did go into this one store to look for items to bring home to our other kiddos, and then we went back to our room to have a rest before coming back later.
3 hours later.
So by the time we made it back to the park, it was pretty rainy, like you could probably tell by the ground. We did grab a pickle first. That was on our list of things that we wanted to do. And that was a quick, easy, healthy-ish snack. And then we walked through California Adventures for the first time during the day. And then we headed into Avengers Campus. And it was our first time, I think, in Adventures Campus. That was super fun. It was very rainy though. We were able to snag a fast pass for web slingers. So we ducked into the store and checked that out. And then this was our first time on this ride. We also got paired with a stranger, like I think a single rider person was in the ride with us, so we were all trying to, hopefully he wasn't depending on us to get him a better score, because we didn't really know what we were doing. So but I think we did pretty well. You let me know. I don't know what the high score is normally on this, but I think we did all right. At this point, it was really raining, so we were just hopping around to different indoor places we could find. So the camera work might be chaotic between us running from space to space because I was obviously not stopping to film in the rain. We went over to Pim Test Kitchen for our first time to get some drinks. This was some sort of fun like mocktail that they had there, or whatever, like boba drink. And then I just got a soda because I needed some more caffeine to get me through the day. But this spot was super fun. definitely would love to try the food next time. This drink was really good, and it was a little sweet, but super fun and interactive. And then obviously my soda was just fine. So one thing that people have never really mentioned to me about going to Disneyland in the rain, like I've heard, oh yeah, it's nice because there's less people or whatever, but I didn't realize that. I guess I should have realized that some of the rides closed down in the rain. So like the little Mater ride in Cars Land was closed, and some other of the rides that we went in to check out were closed. But this was our first time in Cars Land, and it was super cute. We came upon this dance that people were doing in the middle of the street, which I thought was really adorable. That was definitely part of that Disney magic they talked to you about. And from there, we headed into San Francisco. This was so cute. This was during Lunar New Year. I don't know how decorated it normally is. Again, this is my first time. You probably heard me say that a billion times. We did come here the night before, but just to eat, and we went to the Pixar Pier. So this is like their food court eating area, and then we walked through most of the Lunar New Year stuff. It was a little disappointing because we were there kind of late, so a lot of the festivities had closed, and then we went to Boardwalk Pizza and pasta for dinner. I didn't realize it was just grab and go. It was just okay, but my daughter really liked her pasta, so that's all that mattered. This Mickey Lunar New Year macaron was fantastic though. However, we could not get a to-go box to save our lives. Like, no one had one. I was literally covering it up with the receipt in the rain to try and like get it to a place that was dry. And then we walked around Pixar Pier, which was super cute. I will say one of my main regrets about this trip was not finding a headband or something I really wanted to wear on day one at one of the gift shops and then wearing it the whole time, because by the time I was looking at these gift shops, I was like, well, I'm not really going to wear any of these ears or these headbands once I get home. So that was kind of disappointing. And then at this point, we did a little bit more shopping and we were about to call it a night. We were honestly a little defeated. We didn't get to go on some of the rides we wanted to go on because by the time they opened back up, they weren't accepting fast passes. And then we had that debacle with the whole dinner thing. But then the most wonderful thing happened. A guy was like, do you want to meet Mickey? And we were like, what? And he's like, there's no line to meet Mickey. So we met Mickey and it was magical. Here are the photos that the Disney photographer took that came with the Fast Pass. After our magical encounter with Mickey, we headed back to our hotel, and that was it for Disney and Disney California Adventure. The next day, we go to downtown Disney.
The next morning.
Hello, vlog. We are checking in from the car. Today is our last day. We are going to be driving home. After we hit up some downtown Disney, we're going to eat some Din Tai Fung, which is a newer restaurant that they just opened. And then we're going to shop around a bit and we will be driving home in a little while. The trip has been a roller coaster of emotions, has its ups and downs. And let's see. Oh, the Hyatt House. It's like 0.7 miles away. I don't think we'd stay here again. Like, I think we'd pay to stay closer. Also, the room we got, the door was not fully functional. So that was, I mean, the door between the king bed and the bunk beds were just not fully functional. So that kind of defeated the purpose of what we were trying to do. But anyway, I will check in later. Maybe, hopefully. See you. So Din Tai Fung opened in downtown Disney, actually, right when we were in Anaheim in the summer. However, I didn't think to try and make a reservation. I figured it would just be a super long wait, and I totally forgot, like, you could just make a reservation. Anyhow, the only reservation I was able to get for us was at 10 a.m., which is fine. And then Dustin's friend came to join us. So first we ordered some tea drinks, and then I'm going to show you how I personally make my Din Tai Fung or soup dumpling sauce. I do not like the raw ginger. I can do without ginger in most cases. So I use the vinegar, soy sauce, and the chili oil, and that is what I use for a dipping sauce. You can use anything you want on the table to make your sauce and in any ratio. And while I usually use this as a dumpling sauce, you can use it on anything. So we started with the hot and sour soup. I don't know if we'd ever gotten it here before. I'm not quite sure, but it was delicious, and it was really, really raining this morning. So a nice hot soup is definitely appreciated. Of course, we had to get their xiaolongbao, or the pork soup dumpling, and that was delicious. My daughter had never been to Din Tai Fung before, so this was her first time. We also got the chili oil wontons. She wanted to get the fried rice, so we got that with shrimp. We also got a stir fry noodle with chicken and vegetables, and we got I think that's shumai. And then for dessert, we got the cream dipping sauce. I don't know what the proper name is. And then we got the chocolate, I believe, mochi dessert dumplings, and you dip it in this cream sauce. And let me tell you, the cream sauce was a winner. It was such a delicious dessert. After lunch, we headed over to this newly opened area in downtown Disney and hit up Sip and Sonder, which is a coffee shop, and we split a coffee flight over there. It was all right, but the presentation was super cute. And then we walked around and did some shopping. Like I said, it was pouring rain, so it was a little uncomfortable, but we definitely wanted to check out these shops. We had not been to downtown Disney the whole time we had been here, so we definitely wanted to look around and get some gifts to take home for the other kids. Then we wrapped up and left. Again, it was super duper rainy. Honestly, at one point I thought that maybe we shouldn't have driven home at this point, because this isn't even the bad part. I wasn't recording the bad part because I was too busy freaking out, but we made it safe and sound. Obviously, I'm doing this voiceover, and eventually, as we got closer to home, the rain let up, and then we had some clear skies. It's crazy how the weather changed from SoCal to towards Northern California, which you would think it would be the opposite, but all right, we made it home. Oh my goodness, it was pouring, but thankfully we made it with no incident. So I figured I'd end with a little haul, and then, yeah, that's all. So we'll start with this bag. My daughter got this keychain, and it lights up. See? And then my husband got this pin. You probably saw it from the experience, the lightsaber experience. And then he bought another crystal to go inside of the lightsaber. He didn't know what color he got. He got red, but I guess there's different colors you can get. And you just like kind of pick one and then it's like a surprise bag. Probably don't call it that to Star Wars fans. They might not appreciate that. Okay, so my daughter got this sweatshirt. It's super cute. I got the same one. Mine is white and hers is gray. Actually, mine has, it says Disneyland on the sleeve and hers does not. But in the front, it has this cute little castle. Mine's also embroidered and hers isn't, and mine's white. But mine is packed in my suitcase. I was wearing it because I only brought crew neck sweatshirts and I couldn't, like, I love crew necks, but to be able to control how much your zipper goes is so important to like temperature regulation. And I needed to regulate my temperature because like in the sun it was too hot and then in the shade it was cold. And yeah, that was intense. Okay, so what else do I have here? Oh, I bought a t-shirt. We're gonna go see Captain America, I think tomorrow. And so I got this t-shirt and it has Sam on it, who is Captain America. So I'm really excited about that. I specifically wanted that one so people knew that it was for this new movie, not for an old movie. We get magnets everywhere we go when we travel. So this is the one we picked up. It is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It was not cheap, but like, oh, just look at the detail on it. It's so pretty. I think the middle, no, it's just, the middle is just a little raised. But yeah, it's so pretty. So we got that. And then from Avengers Campus, I got this sweatshirt for myself. I lost my last black sweatshirt, so I got a new one. It says, Stark Industries, changing the world for a better future. And it's embossed. It's really nice. Let's see, I already did that bag. And then this bag. Oh, my daughter had to have this guy. He's so cute. This is actually Pluto. And these are called like mixits or something. And you have different little hoods. And so you can see this is Pluto, even though I think he like looks a little like Pooh Bear when he has his hat on. And then I think, I don't know what kind of head this is. I think it might be a snake, but if you know, you please tell me. It looks like he's holding candles or torches. Is it a snake? Is it a monster? I don't know. But he's cute nonetheless. Okay. And then my daughter got another sweatshirt because I had 2 sweatshirts. So of course she needed to have 2 sweatshirts, right? And this is obviously Spider-Man. And it has the web slingers logo on the sleeve. And that's super cute. Very soft, and that's a crew neck. And then today we went to this Wonderful World of Sweets, which just opened 3 weeks ago. And we got some souvenirs for our other kids. These are like classic Mickey. And then this, they were making this fresh. I think they make it fresh every day. Yeah, packaged on the 13th, Best by the 15th. And they make it with Werther's caramel. So that should probably be very delicious. And look at how beautiful this sticker is. The whole shop was so cute. And then for myself, I got a little treat. My daughter did get a Mickey ice cream. We did not bring that all the way home because that would be silly. I got this. They said it was Lolly. I don't know if that's not Mickey, if that's a different character, or if it was like, I don't know. Let me know if you know, but it's a lemon flavored cookie. So I'm really excited to try that. Yeah, the bag is crinkly because it was raining. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our trip, and please check out my social media and give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.